Bernie is right in the footsteps of Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt, who dared to do big things, dared to take on the moneyed establishment, even though they came from that establishment. And when Roosevelt was accused of betraying his class, he said, "I welcome their hatred." Well, we need that attitude more in American politics today, and Bernie has it. He's in the footsteps of, again, Lyndon Johnson, who dared to put forward incredibly bold civil rights legislation at the time. But, he was putting it forward only because the people had already created the demand for that. So he was responding to it. And that's why Bernie is doing well today. He's not creating the demand. He's responding to the people themselves who are calling for this, demanding this, organizing for it, putting campaign dollars into the kitty to make it possible and carry this forward. That, to me, is the finest of American politics.
Let's hear from...
Morning, everybody. Oh, man, I'm hearing myself. I'm hearing myself here. There we go. All right. That was a terrible start. Great Jim Hightower testimony there, endorsing Bernie Sanders. Sorry about the audio, guys. I didn't have time this morning to put together an actual rundown for the newsroom. Many of you were probably just with us at the Bernie Sanders in Nashua. And then I had to talk with Janine, who showed up, but Janine is pretty much, she's toast, guys. She has been doing phone calls, running around, trying to help out New Hampshire primary, telling us some scary stories of stuff on the road. Just what seems to be happening, folks, is that the Hillary campaign is imploding, and this is a good morning, Maya. Hey, Robin. Hey, Barbara. Cynical Girl, DL Freighter Watcher, Jonathan, Joe, Stefan, Wizard of Oz. Hey, everybody. Bad Wolf Time Lady. We've got some people in comments. Celeste is here. I don't know, Cindy Matthews may be there. Yesterday was quite an emotional day for a number of reasons. Today we are gearing up. We are prepping up for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the big day in New Hampshire, and those of you who think that it's going to be an easy slide, remember that this is a war. Remember that this is a political revolution. And right now, Hillary's campaign is having some problems. Well, I got quite the glow going on me today. Give me a second. Let's kill that. Make it a little more. There we go. Now I'm not feeling the glow so much. This morning we had an early broadcast from Nashua. It was 10:30 Eastern. Those of you who were with us, it was great. Ran a little clip at the beginning of it, which was an 86-year-old woman who in a hospital bed, saying why she feels the burn. I could run that later if you want. But what we're here to talk about today are some of the things we're reading out in the web and mainstream media. It's finally shifting, folks. Mainstream media is finally starting to report the news that we're aware of because they have no choice. They're realizing that the American public is starting to actually watch and pay attention to Bernie Sanders. The world is paying attention to Bernie Sanders. And when that happens, ratings happen. And if you're a corporate media entity, you've got a dilemma. Because if your ratings are happening on the candidate that you don't want in office, the candidate who wants to get rid of you and your corporate influence on political content. Right? And love the fact that Bernie. Here's my offer, Bernie. If you get into office and we can and you could take over CNN, I'll take it. I would love to turn CNN into something worthy of the American people. I don't know that could happen, but that would be great. I don't think Ted would let me do that. No, we need to create our own, Bernie. We need to create the federal government broadcasting network, the global engagement network for the people. And I've got those plans already. But anyway, on to Bernie and what's going on today. There is a concert happening tonight, just to keep things happy, because yesterday was not happy. I'm froze, guys. I need to fix some things here. Actually, why I'm frozen here. Give me 1 second. I should be good. I don't know what's making it happen. Kind of funny. Well, that's weird. Hopefully things are still streaming. Sorry about the technology. My face is frozen up there. What do you put up there?
Yes, you are still streaming, John.
Good. Well, there, your face, you're looking at your face, but for some reason my camera is frozen. All my cameras.
Well, and I seem to be, have some animation going on here. While we're messing with this, how about if I just say hi to everyone in the chat, and Kyle says that you don't say hi to him, so I'm going to say hi, Kyle.
Hey, Kyle, I'm sorry if I missed names. I really apologize. Who else we got? Libby Weed is in here, and James 1970. There's so many people in here. Damn.
Yeah, we've got a good regular audience, and it's delightful to see so many who join us for the Bernie broadcast coming over to the newsroom. And Paul, yes, we did see the article that you were talking about, and I believe John is going to be discussing it.
As soon as I figure out how to make my camera work again, I'm gonna have to switch.
Do you have to restart? This is what internet live broadcasting utilizing our available equipment gets you.
I actually gonna have to restart one machine, or one of the machines that's running stuff that may bring the cameras back. I may have to restart everything. I apologize. Let's see what happens. Sorry, everybody.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. Google Hangouts. We use Google Hangouts to facilitate the virtual production environment. And the Hangout that has my camera on it and the main audio just froze. And that can happen. I mean, it happens with, they have technical difficulties at, multi-million-dollar studios. Just got to handle it a little differently here. Anyway, hi guys, back to you. Yeah, don't worry about it. We're all good. So where were we? I totally lost track of what we were talking about. What were we talking about, Celeste?
Yeah, put me on the spot like that while I'm, totally caught off guard going, okay, I got to reposition myself. Is my audio live? Ah, shit.
That's all right. I got it. I just had to get back in the swing. I just needed 2 seconds. Here we go. The first thing we're going to talk about, guys, is this. Okay, I got lots of news, and we're just going to pull up individual.
Jim Hightower.
Jim Hightower was great. He's a personality, right? He said he was a big endorsement, a personality, and that was his endorsement for Bernie Sanders. Do you know more about him? Do you want to tell people about Jim Hightower really quick?
Basically, Jim Hightower is someone that's been a politician in Texas for, at least as long as that I've been here, so that's 36 years. He's kind of a Texas version of Will Rogers. He's got a really good dry sense of humor. He puts his political commentary and opinions out there, and and he's an honest dude. He's an honest dude.
Okay. Cool. I like that. Well, yeah, he seemed that way. I totally misread him, and I will be the first to admit. I looked at him. I said I saw Texas. I'm like, okay, I didn't even read anything. I'm like, oh, I gotta get this in here quick as an endorsement because it looked like a Texas politician. I'm like, he's got the flannel and the hat and the boots. He's one of them, sweet.
He's a Texas dude.
Yeah.
He's kind of what one would imagine your stereotype of a Texan to be. To be looking like, unless of course you spent the late 70s and early 80s watching Dallas, the television series, and then your perception is totally skewed. I mean, I could tell you stories of what my drive into Texas was like when I moved here. I thought the minute I crossed into the Texas border that I'd be seeing frickin' oil wells lining the roads, and it would be just this. Cattle grazing everywhere, and
the majesty of Dallas, right?
Yeah, exactly. But once I got into the city here proper, I suddenly felt as if I was entering the land of Oz, and that I had somehow discovered the Emerald City because the downtown was just all tall glass, shiny buildings, and Dallas has actually got a pretty decent skyline. As far as large municipal skylines go, if you're into skylines, which I happen to be into architectural skylines, so Jim Hightower, so he's someone that you should follow if you want to kind of keep up with Texas politics and get an interesting Texas take on national politics. And he certainly has no problem raking our GOP over the coals, and so I always find that an enjoyable endeavor. Brings laughter to my face.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you. So everybody, Jim Hightower here in Texas, and you want to get to know more about that.
Frank Abagnale.
Let's talk about Gloria Steinem, who apologized for saying what she did the other day, but I wanted to say really quickly.
You were shown to be quite skilled at fraud.
Times changed. Now I help catch the bad
You can jump back on and tell Gloria what you said this morning. But basically, folks, if you're not aware, Gloria Steinem and Madeleine Albright joined Hillary camp as establishment paid voters. And
I would like to have a
basically insulted, well, first they insulted women, then they insulted men, sort of, and it's just, the sad thing is, and I talked about this yesterday, the sad thing is, Gloria, is that you yourself, if Bernie was doing this and it was 1965, you'd be all over it. Because in 1965, you were a radical, and now you're the establishment, and you don't even recognize what that means. We've got some stuff to talk about that too. But now she's apologized because, holy shit, the campaign is like imploding. The White House is freaking out about it. They don't know what to do. They recognize that she's on her way down, that this is going up. So we got the Madeleine Albright statement, there's a special place in hell for women who don't vote for women running for office, which is the most vagina-biased statement I've ever heard in my life. And she's ancient and whatever, at this point, both her and Gloria, I kind of feel like, are going to get like the Reagan pass. We don't really know what's happening in your head anymore. It's okay, maybe, I don't know. I'm not trying to insult them. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised. I was shocked that both of them turned out to be establishment paid voters. Me, I was like, because, and here's the thing, folks. The first thing I saw from Gloria Steinem was the thing on Bill Maher, and I was like, I was driving in the car with my wife. We were on our way to this thing in Corvallis, and I'm like, really, what? Gloria Steinem, and I'm reading it. I'm like, there's no way she really said this, and it's on Bill Maher, so I'm guessing this is sarcastic. It's a joke. That's what I thought. I was like, this is sarcastic. It's a joke. There's no way she would say this. Right? And then it turned out to be real, and I'm like, oh, what? So anyway, now she's apologizing for it. Gloria, here's the thing, and then I'm going to hand it over to Celeste. You don't get it. It's not about apologizing. It's about recognizing what you've become, and you don't get it. Here's Celeste.
Thanks, John. Yeah, I got my real good rant off yesterday morning, so I'm not going to, repeat the same thing. What I said earlier this morning was, as far as Gloria's apology goes, it's too little, too late, and too insincere to really matter, and, she can just go to hell. As far as Madeleine Not So Albright goes, Madeleine has been saying effectively what she said at Hillary's rally, for several years now. But here's the problem with it: is it's a bullshit statement, and it's a shaming statement to women. Women don't need to be shamed. One of the things I did as a kid, because I was growing up in the late 60s into the early 70s with the second wave of the women's movement, was, I stood in front of my school board with one other girl in 1972, and I fought to get our school board to approve girls to be able to take the shop classes instead of being stuck just in home economics classes. Because let's face it, unless you learn something about, and again, let me qualify, because back in that day, you could actually work on your own cars without having to have thousands of dollars worth of equipment in your garage to deal with all of the computerized stuff that's now in your vehicles. By learning about tools and engines and, how things go together mechanically, that knowledge base is a huge boon for women when we have to deal with repair people. We have to take our vehicles to be repaired. It helps to have an understanding of how your vehicle works, so that when the person in the dealership is telling you such and such about your brakes or your engine or your muffler system, you have at least a rudimentary understanding to know whether you're getting ripped off. So, I watched women like Gloria Steinem. I admired women like Gloria Steinem. At 12 years old, all I could do was go up to the school board. I couldn't go and, protest and march in Washington. My parents both worked. I was the latchkey kid. There's a term that you don't hear, much anymore. So it's an insult to me. And I don't like feeling as if women are being divided by other women either. And I would really like to know how many women have had to show a special form of fealty as these women have risen to prominence in the national spotlight over the decades. And I'll say this about Hillary, too. The most insulting thing about Madeleine Albright and that rally was Hillary's reaction. Hillary can't come directly out and tell us to go to hell. She can let Madeleine Albright do it. And I think that what's going on with the Clinton campaign is a shame. I think it's disgusting. I think they're getting what they deserve. I think that it's time for the third way to wake up. It's time for all of the women who are standing on the stage with Hillary in support of her. It's time for all of the politicians in the Democratic parties at the state levels to realize that the people are pissed. We've had enough, and we're going to vote you out. We will get you primaried because we want elected officials on the Democratic side of the ticket to act like fucking Democrats and represent the people, not the moneyed interests. And you people need to start getting out amongst us and start working with us and talking with us and not the fucking donors, because their time is coming to an end fast. So to any woman who wants to tell me that I'm voting for Bernie, that I don't know what I'm doing, I don't understand the politics, I say to you, fuck you, and go to hell. I'm going to go jump over into chat now. Thank you, John.
All right, there you go. Thank you for that, Celeste, a woman's perspective to a woman who used to have a feminist perspective. We're not sure what happened there. Went to the establishment. This leads us right into this. The worm has turned. This is an article on the Daily Chaos by Hooch. And what I like about what Hooch has to say is down in the last two paragraphs. I'm going to read one of them for you. But the worm has turned, barring unforeseeable events, which is what we all have to prepare for here. Bernie Sanders will be the Democratic nominee. Now, I want to say that our good friend H.A. Goodman made this call quite some time back. So thank you, H.A., for making that call first. I'll have to find that article, but I want to read to you what Hooch says down here at the bottom, because it's beautifully stated. And yes, I will get these links into the rundown. I did not have time this morning, but we're gonna zoom in on the bottom here, folks, and take a look at what he has to say together. So here's the article. It says, and this is the nail in the Clinton coffin. The American people are beginning to realize that they have the ability to elect someone they're not supposed to elect. Clinton represents everything normal about elections that are now universally recognized as abnormal. She is a safe bet, only in a fictional world that is being dismantled. She is the past, and the future has become viable. Bernie Sanders' support will continue to swell, as it should, and Democrats need the courage to call this a good thing, a great thing. No longer can we permit our values and agendas to be boxed in by the very influences that oppose them. Time is running out on our ecology, our economy, and our social fabric, and nothing less than an out-and-out champion for our future will do. You probably already know this. It's probably why you're voting for Sanders in your Democratic primary. It looks like you'll have plenty of company. Thank you for saying all that, Hooch, because you...
Tavi Stevenson, trendsetter, tastemaker, and
this is what's happening.
Watson,
We are
you
seeing
sound like a
through the
fan.
bullshit.
millions look to you
There's
for advice.
24%
I know, I can't believe it.
I am learning
that
to
are
analyze
still buying
social media to spot trends
I
and
forget which
predict
pill it
demand.
was
Sounds like you spend a lot of time.
the what are those movies? The damn movies with Keanu. Where he had the Matrix. The one pill or the other pill. Well, we've got 24% of Americans that have not chosen the correct pill. We need to unplug them from the false reality machine, bring them to the web, show them the truth. And there was an article that showed the polls, and really it breaks down to 65 plus and conservative. Or conservative. There's still a lot of varied age groups that are just conservative, jacked into the mainstream media machine. I don't know what they're paying attention to anymore. They got to be seeing what's going on. But we have to reach those folks. Facebook is really the best place because it is the widest place. The problem is that Facebook is the great sharing engine. It's a great catalyst for sharing, but it's very limited in reach because Facebook filters people's views. All right? Twitter is about to filter your views. The only place left that may not filter views is Google. But we can't even be assured of that anymore. But recognize that even on the web, filtering is starting to occur of what you can see and what you don't see. So we really have to be vigilant about getting this information out, blasting it out on the web. Remember what Ben Dixon said, synthesize that information down to 140 characters and fire that ammunition. Right? Launch those salvos out onto the web. Today and tomorrow, that's what we are doing because the tide has turned. We get it. We're ready, folks. The world is ready for this change. And thank God it's happening when I'm young enough to enjoy it. Honestly, I'm so thrilled that it's happening now. Thank you, world. Thank you, Bernie Sanders. We're doing this now. This is what we need to do, folks. What are we doing in the Sandhead chat? Barbara, you leaving? Bye, Barb. Gotta go. We gotta go. What's up with that, Celeste? Where's Barbara going? Don't know? Oh, all right. Well, yeah, Celeste is working on comments and stuff. So, but good to see you all in there. Whoever's leaving, take off. Stable for Windows. So yes, it has stable for Windows broken. Yeah, Google. The problem with Google is I don't know where they stand. They have the "don't be evil," but I really think they've been evil. I think that's bust. What's up?
Well, they're corporate. They're a corporation, and they have to play ball with the government because they're a tech company as well. So there's, and I'm not going to defend them because it boils down to we don't have a lot of choice. Free market is bullshit mythology. There's no such thing as a free market. We've got too many. Our industries are all consolidated. We don't have choice. We just have brand names in effect for certain things. With Google, and Microsoft and, Silicon Valley, again, you've got the collusion, or not necessarily collusion, but you've got the two entities that have no choice but to work together. Tech companies have to work with the government because the government has regulations and it's information, and everything is now computer, or more and more everything is computerized, and there has to be some mechanism for the government to get information when it needs it. But I don't think that we have people in the positions of seniority who have nearly the understanding of the technology that they're making laws and regulations on. You've touched on that, John, and you're much more eloquent in speaking on that than I would ever be. But that's one of the problems. It's where do you get a balance between what the government gets to know and have access to versus what the corporations own and control, and how they use and manipulate our data. Not to mention the information that we provide into, as you've described it, an AI system that's learning from everything that we do. What I think in terms of what are the long-term ramifications, and those aren't conversations we're having either. I think of
they can't happen, Celeste. I want to talk about the technology for a second, but they can't happen until we have a government that's intelligent enough to grasp it. And you're not going to have that with a bunch of dino-thinking, knuckle-dragging, ancient white men running around thinking about toys for war, who have no concept of how the internet works, even at the most basic levels. They don't understand what security means, what it really means. They don't understand any of these things, and that's.
Well, then I pose the question, John. How do we get people who have that knowledge, who have that understanding, into government in a manner that has them looking out for us?
Well,
again,
that's what we're doing right now.
So are we electing younger, more tech savvy people into elected office? Is that really going to get us what we need?
Well, it's gonna. So that's a start, right? The whole start was to have the people run and vote the people in. That's what Hooch said. We've recognized that we can elect the candidate we want, not the choices we're given. Because we can pool our money, because the internet allows us to have this mass communication. That's why the TPP is being pushed through, folks. This is why the TPP is being pushed through. So yeah, to answer your question, Celeste, we the people have to elect we the people back into government. But we have not seen yet what they're going to do to fight that. We have not even we haven't even fought the true beast. The beast in the cave is the military-industrial complex, and we haven't even touched them. Bernie hasn't even touched the military-industrial complex. He mentions it very little. He alludes to that, but he doesn't even talk about. He mentions the military in terms of expenditure, and that it's 8 times, that eight other countries combined. He lists the same stats that other politicians are safe to list. But he cannot act on it until he has a group of people in Congress that can actually that are not sucking on the tit of the military-industrial complex. Because I guarantee you that the vast majority of all of the establishment politicians make money off war. They all make money off the military-industrial complex. That's the biggest money maker there is, folks. That's what we do. We make money off war. Drugs is a nice sideline, but we make our money off war. 54% of the government budget goes to military. 27 cents of your tax dollar goes to military. Another 26 cents of your tax dollar goes to our health. But to me, those are remarkably disproportionate, because look what we get for our military out of 27 cents for our dollar. Look at the shit we get for our health for 26 cents out of our dollar. There's a fucking problem right there. So that's the bigger problem, folks, is that our government spends a ridiculous, disproportionate amount of your tax dollar and their overall budget on their fucking toys for war. And then they sell these things, including Hillary Clinton, when she was head of State Department, making deals with Egypt and the Middle East to sell tear gas because they were dumping money into her Clinton Foundation fund. The same Hillary Clinton that swears she's not influenced by money in politics is a liar. But I'm not going to rant today. I promised myself I was not going to rant today. Celeste got a good rant today. Let's look at the reality, the happy reality. Here's Real Clear Politics looking at polls. If I can just get this better zoom here. We're going to look at some of the polls, right? Which all are going to show that Bernie Sanders is kicking ass and taking names. So this is Sanders, and as Monday, this is in, this is the, let's see, what is this we got here? Race topic, New Hampshire presidential Republican. These are all the different varying races. This Monday, Sunday, the different days here. But right now, Sanders has a lead in New Hampshire, decisive lead across the board. But we're hearing reports. We know this for a fact. We had an article pulled up on it. I got to find it. But push polling, folks. The Hillary campaign is doing push polling. It's not an illegal tactic, but it sure is a shitty tactic. It's a tactic that reeks of desperation. This is what campaigns do when they are absolutely desperate, and for some reason they think this is going to have a beneficial effect in the world of open communication. But a push poll is when somebody calls up to do pretend to do a poll. But the real goal is to ask you leading questions about Bernie Sanders. Drop a little snippet of information in there. What if I told you that Bernie Sanders was a communist and was ready to nuke China? Would you vote for him then? No, I just made that one up. That's not what they're saying. But essentially, it could be anything. What if I told you that Bernie Sanders had herpes and liked to chase little girls? They could make up whatever the fuck they want. And that's the point, is that they're going to spew bullshit. They're going to try to influence the vote by doing this push polling. This is the sickness of establishment media that continues to think somehow they can just lie, and that the internet is not going to catch them in this lie, or that they can do tactics. The fact that they think they could even run a non-transparent campaign, that we would not communicate with each other and go, hey, did you hear that they're push polling over here? Or did you hear that they're doing this over here? How did you hear that? Well, through the web. Because the moment it happened, somebody got on social and said, I just got push polled by Hillary Clinton. Can you believe that shit? This is when Celeste talks about the disconnect with the people in power, the establishment and technology and how it functions. This is how sad, how terribly disconnected they are. Obama was recently on that Bear Grylls show where they pretend to care about the environment, and Obama pretended to care about the environment. And it was really sad because he's like, well, I don't have a BlackBerry. Well, I have a I don't know how to use my phone, folks. They won't give me a smartphone. They won't give me a smartphone, so somebody has to do this and show me how my kids show me how to use the phone. You know what? I want a president who, one, says, give me a fucking smartphone. I will use it, make it secure. If it's, fuck you and you're telling me what I can do, I will have a smartphone. And two, I'm going to know how to use modern technology. Because how the hell am I supposed to govern the greatest nation on earth if I don't understand basic technology that my 12-year-old kid gets? If we don't have a Congress that understands how the internet works, why it works the way it does, what the social construct of the internet is, how are they going to write laws that make sense? They don't. That's what the establishment doesn't give a shit about laws for the people. They care about control. The TPP is about control. We have to do everything we can to stop the TPP. I'm going off on a thing. Yeah, what's up, Celeste?
No, I was just going to say, where you're going with the TPP is right on target. The TPP is a corporate overhaul of sovereignty for, 12 nations that are supposed to be signatories to that. That's 40% of the GDP, global GDP, pardon me. And here's the deal, what no one's really grasping about that, though China is not a signatory to that agreement, there's so many multinationals and American-based corporations that get their manufacturing done out of there, but China deals with any number of the countries on that list of 12, especially in the Asian countries that are part of that agreement. And so what China can do is China will take their products, dump it into those Asian countries, and then be able to get it through to our country and imports just simply through use of the corporations they have in those other Asian countries. So it's a true clusterfuck, and also another way for these corporations to secure profit by strip mining governments by lawsuit. The World Trade Organization hit the United States with a $15 billion a day fine for labeling. And our Congress, right at the end of the year, got rid of the requirement for labeling. Right. So labeling is now outlawed. I mean, this is what people aren't getting. These are not trade deals. These aren't treaties. These are corporate takeovers and ways to strip mine governments and own it all.
Thank you for bringing up the GMO thing, because I just want to relate to people. I just want to show people the correlation here, folks. What Celeste just described was our federal government bypassing the will of the people. It's like, oh, you want anti-GMO? We're going to make it illegal for you to want anti-GMO. Fuck you. That's literally what our government did. And just to remind you that in Flint, Snyder did the same thing. Oh, the people want to be able to vote on this? We're going to pass legislation statewide that says you can't do that. What the? Really? Here's the thing. If you're an establishment politician in office right now, I know you're probably not going to see this video, so you guys should send this to take this clip, send it to an establishment politician. Say, this is to help save your life. This year, we are electing people into office. We're going to run the people that we want to run in offices that we want them to run for, and we're going to elect people back into our government, and we're going to remove the establishment. We're going to do this with voting. We're going to do this with New Hampshire tomorrow by letting everybody know that it's about Bernie Sanders. And when we have Bernie Sanders in office, we're going to elect all of the Bernie crats, and we're just going to remove you. Just going to remove you, and hopefully we're going to do this very peacefully, very quietly. You're going to go. You're going to recognize that your time is done. We have the internet control. We have the information flow almost under control. We have a 24% leak, and we're going to fix that leak. And once we've stopped the flow of misinformation from corporate media, and the world is listening to the truth together, we're going to rebuild this nation with the people. And if corporations want to come along and be a part of that, we'd love to have you along, as long as you understand that there is a new relationship between business and the consumer and the worker. And that relationship is people first. People first. Us first. We are taking our world back together because it's about people first. Our government was about people first, but somehow our government forgot that and decided to make it only about a very small, select group of people who got really greedy and really made a mess of things. So we're taking back our nation. And if you want to know, here's to make you feel better. This is the latest email I just got from Hillary Clinton. If you don't think this campaign is imploding, I want you to go try to find another campaign email in history like this one from the front runner in the Democratic Party, or any party. This was Hillary's email. Friend, there's only one day left until the New Hampshire primary. I'm so proud of our team. They're knocking on doors. Can I get on you? Oh, you can't see the title. Damn, you got to see the title. Here, this is what the title. Outraised and outspent. We're fighting back. I'm sorry. This is be proud, America. Be a proud world. But do you know that I get emails? I get emails from people. Hi. And I'm probably talking to some of you people right now. I haven't been able to answer you. I haven't been able to get to emails. I get emails from people every day. I live in Norway. I live in Belgium. I live in Germany, France, Romania. I've had some crazy Turkey. So I've gotten some that are written in the language. I can't even read what they're saying, but I know they're saying feel the burn. Okay? And what they all say is, how can I donate money to Bernie Sanders campaign without getting in trouble? How can we do this? How can I, from Norway, give Bernie Sanders money? Can I send you money and have you give it to Bernie Sanders? I've got emails like that, folks. If you don't think Bernie Sanders is in a global freaking change, there are people around the world wanting to send money for this. That has never happened in the history of anything. Maybe it happened with FDR. And maybe back then there were people mailing letters and sending crates across ships. I don't know. Who knows? But that's you want to know what America does great? America does crazy shit like change their nation like this. Great. That's what we do. And we're doing a great job with this one. We really are. Thank you all. Let's take a look at this. This is just to keep on the path of what's going on. Reality check. U.S. presidential hopeful Sanders Clinton in dead heat. Reuters poll. Reuters Ipsos poll. Whatever. If we scroll down here, look at the little number here. Clinton leads Sanders 48% to 45% among Democratic voters, according to the poll of 512 Americans conducted February 2 to 5th following Iowa caucus. This is an AOL poll, probably a landline poll, a very small sample size, but that's okay. That's okay. You know, we won't. I'm not going to do what mainstream media will do and be selective about it. This poll has the same accuracy as all the other polls, right? It's whatever. Who knows? We understand the heartbeat of America. We know where it is. The pulse is on the web. The pulse is not in corporate media. I'm coming over here to look at comments. I just want to see what everybody has to say. See how you guys are doing. My uncle from Texas is feeling the burn. That's fantastic. You guys didn't get to hear it at the beginning of Biff's stream, and it may be on his full cut. There's people talking in the audience before Bernie comes out, and you can hear this woman going, "I got my husband to vote. He's never voted. My husband is going to vote for Bernie." And you can hear in her voice, she's just like, "Holy shit balls! I got my husband to vote for Bernie. Bernie got this guy to vote for him." That's the kind of movement this is. That's why they can't stop it. That's why they can't stop it. And just to make you guys feel even better, I want you to think about June last year, July, August. Let's go to August last year. Everybody that was feeling the burn in August of last year. Do you remember what was being said in newspaper magazines? Do you remember what was being said on the web about Bernie? Do you remember how many not prominent newspapers, not prominent journalists, everybody was saying that Bernie was in August, there was no chance in hell. He still had no standings in August. We had recorded many, many rallies already. I think we'd already had a channel shut down at that point. Channel 1 was already down. I don't know. Here's an article from Salon that came out yesterday. It's almost over for Hillary. This election is a mass insurrection against a rigged system. I'm reading your comments. Hey, Valerie, I talk to so many people. I educate them on Bernie. Thank you. Hello, E-Ball. Shitballs. Yes, shitballs. I love that word. The reaction from people of Flint to Hillary showing up. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's a big one. That's a big one, folks. Hillary. It's like Bernie's. Let's look at the record. How long has Bernie been screaming about Flint? Bernie's been screaming about Flint. Not as long as Michael Moore, maybe. Maybe he has. I don't even know the full record. Hillary helicoptered in for a PR opportunity. And the sad thing is, she probably does care. But unfortunately, this last minute kind of dropping in really looks like she's helicoptering in for PR. And we know she kind of is. "Hi, Flint, I'm there for you. What can we do? Can I go buy y'all a Frappuccino? Let's go all get a Frappuccino together." I don't know what she's going to do down there. We'll all become good friends after my establishment people make sure that they're taken care of, so that all of my establishment buddies don't really go to jail, which is where they should go. We'll settle for partially clean water, and we'll settle for, still charging you for some of your bills. I'm sure that's what we get out of Hillary because we're Americans with Hillary. But yeah, here's the beautiful thing. You want to know the difference? Bernie Sanders' campaign actually is setting up an office in Flint, and that was an article that came out a couple days ago. Okay. And we actually covered it. Bernie's campaign setting up office in Flint. It's a very small story. Nobody covered it in mainstream media. But we sure blew the shit out of the fact that Hillary was in there helicoptering in to take advantage of the situation. You know why the reaction was different, folks? It's because we'd seen the web has already seen that Bernie has put out statement after statement about the bullshit going on in Flint. Bernie has taken a legitimate stand and an interest in what's going on with the people. Hillary is looking for an opportunity to increase her vote with the people.
Hey, John?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Do.
I talked to Link in live production that gives the people's reaction to Hillary's coming to Flint. It's called Flint Lives Matter. Residents say Hillary Clinton coming for the entertainment.
Yes, this is the one I was looking for. This is the article I was looking for. Thank you for grabbing this. This is I saw this pass through. Guys, just so you know, the team here at Bernie 2016 TV and all of you guys have been helping us grab articles. I see your posts. I need to. I think we're going to start using a hashtag to get this stuff because you guys are posting so much stuff. But I try to catch it with like hashtag TRNR, The Real Newsroom. I was thinking nobody else uses that. TRNR. You hashtag something with that. I'll pull it up. I'll have it delivered, and I'll be able to like find whatever it is. Hashtag TRNR. I'll get that in the lower third. The Real Newsroom, and be an article source. So this one I'd seen come through from a couple people. Half the articles I have loaded in this morning came from the crowd. You guys are freaking badass. So thank you for helping us source the world. The rest come from the beautiful team in the Slack environment. And honestly, there's really no separation between you guys anymore. We keep bringing more and more people into Slack. So yeah, this is what she's talking about here, right here. And this is on Raw Story, an article by Lucia Graves from The Guardian. I don't know, I understand it. There's another paper. Anyway, Flint Lives Matter. Residents say Hillary Clinton coming for the entertainment. I guess we don't need to read it, but yeah, we'll just go down here. What we got here. Hillary Clinton has made every effort to come to Flint on her own. The water crisis afflicting this predominantly black Michigan city, ignored by Washington politicians for years, become another battleground in a progressive war between Clinton and Bernie Sanders. I read a little bit about this, and the problem is what Hillary really has a problem with right now is that she already had a sincerity issue going up against Barack Obama. We already knew that she really didn't present as sincere as Barack did, both establishment politicians. Yes, Barack Obama, you are an establishment candidate who had some interest of the people in mind, I thought, until you didn't fight for your own health care plan, built drones out the ass, signed TPP, increased military spending. You really weren't the people's president, the hope and the change that I voted for. You're an establishment politician. The difference is that you were better at being sincere with the people. You could read a teleprompter like a badass and be sincere. Hillary, not so much. Hillary has lost that sincerity that an establishment politician relies on, that fake sincerity that they rely on. Without that fake sincerity between the people, the illusion is gone. It's like the Emperor's New Clothes. We see her naked. She's running around thinking she's queen and wearing this great outfit. Not so much. So that's really what's going on here, folks, is the illusion is gone. The illusion is gone. And yes, Barack was a fucking kid. I'm really sad about Barack Obama because I donated, I did some effort. Maybe he was better for democracy he certainly was better for democracy than the Republican alternative. Okay. But, what else we got in the news, folks? There's other stuff. There's other good stuff. I told you I was going to talk about this. reminder before we go talking about this. A couple things. I don't know what hashtag we're going to be floating around for the New Hampshire primary. So we're going to pick one. Maybe one will show up. Oftentimes what happens is we get, Michael Briggs sends a statement like they did last time for Iowa. We were looking at Aiden King and Hector Segala. I don't know if we're going to be following those two guys again. We'll probably get some instructions. I will be doing a streamathon all day tomorrow. We'll start with the newsroom unless we have like an early morning Bernie Sanders. And then we'll do the early morning Bernie Sanders. We'll do a newsroom. I'll take a little bit of a break. I'll come back on at noon my time. We'll stay live all day until New Hampshire is done telling the world that they want Bernie Sanders. We'll play videos. We'll run different stuff. We'll have different special guests pop in. Whatever the heck we can do with it. It'll be a fun party. We'll have a blast. I'm sure we need to phone bank. I'm pretty sure we're phone banking for New Hampshire, but that's what Janine is busting ass on right now, actually, is phone banking. She's got snow piled up around her, and she couldn't get to New Hampshire. I think she was supposed to try to get to New Hampshire, but she couldn't, so she's phone banking. That's something everybody can do. BernieSanders.com/phone bank. Okay? And as soon as we know what we're pushing tomorrow from the campaign, what the instructions, what the battle orders are, because remember, we're not done, folks. We have a long way to go. All we've done at this point is cross the battlefield. We've hit the 50-yard line. Okay. But football terms, battlefield terms. We landed. D-Day was Iowa, and now we're moving in. Anyway, let's look at this. What do we got? Hillary for prison. I think that's it. We're looking at hashtag options. Hillary for prison. Establishment for prison. I think if you really started adding up, if we really were going to list all of the crimes against the people of the establishment for the last 40 years, and we're going to start with the Exxon lie. Remember, folks, Exxon, and I just want to show this. I have to do this every time because I know we get new people. But I want to remind everybody, and then there's another good one in here, but I want to remind everybody that, did I pull it out? I pulled it out. I feel bad. Okay, I want to remind everybody that Exxon knew in 1977 that they were destroying the planet and that we had about 10 to 20 year window. This is in 1977. It's an article in Salon. Google it. Exxon knew 40 years ago that they were destroying the planet. Our government and Exxon and corporate media all agreed it's okay. Let's lie about it. Let's just keep doing what we're doing because it makes good money. And we'll just figure that science that you just all agreed about was, come on, guys, this bullshit. It's the Earth, it's big. Can't do that. No. We got to have more than 10, 20 years. We'll have better technology by then. We won't even be driving these cars by then, right? Right. Our planet is going to die. Our planet is going to be uncomfortably uninhabitable for me in 20 years. I don't want to be on this planet in 20 years if we haven't made drastic, sweeping change. The piece that I want to pull up, which is now lost. Where'd it go? God damn it. Now I lost. Oh, there it was. There it is. The reason I'm bringing up the environment, again, the reason I'm bringing up ExxonMobil, the reason I'm bringing up these things, talk about the money, where it comes from, where it goes, and talk about Hillary Clinton and what her State Department did. This is, the 86-year-old woman told us where the money comes from. Here's Hillary Clinton's State Department increased chemical arms sales to Mideast countries that gave to Clinton Foundation. So Hillary, when you ask us, how do we know you're an establishment politician, or when you make the, I don't know, there was a quote, apparently she said that Bernie Sanders is the only one who thinks that I'm with the establishment. People really know who I am, or some crap like that. I don't even know what it was. It's this kind of thing. Hillary, you're not going to find this record with Bernie Sanders. You're not going to find any of this kind of shit. He doesn't have a big foundation that countries like Morocco are dumping money into, that Wall Street execs are dumping money into, that the Middle East is dumping money into. When this happened, at the same time, she's screaming, stop this, and no, we can't have chemical. At the same time, she's telling the American people how chemical weapons are bad. They're doing this. This is the two sides of the mouth thing. Do we have any Hillary supporters with us today? Please? Do we have any Elon Musk? Valerie? He just said my hero's name. If I could get Elon Musk to watch one of the shows where I'm not just ranting and spraying spit all over my screen and acting like a lunatic, maybe he'd come by and we could have a chat and we could blow this thing up big. Today's been a pretty calm day, mostly because I still feel bad about yesterday. But here we go, folks. Hillary, this is where your attention goes. My thing is, why was this important? What the hell are we doing? How many more fucking weapons do we need to send to the Middle East, guys? I want to just say this. It's very sad. And Alice Philman, who's got a friend who's like digging at Abydos right now. And in a beautiful world, I would be some kind of a traveler somehow. I would have worked really hard to be able to take my time to travel and do archaeology and explore the world. That's what I want to do. I want to explore people and culture in the world and learn from it. I think a lot of us would like to do that. I had visions of being out in the stars by now. That's not going to happen. Elon Musk is helping to make that happen. But we are blowing up the Middle East constantly. There are so many things. Middle East is the birthplace of humankind. It's the cradle of humanity, and we are destroying that path. We have been. It's so sad. With American weapons on all sides, everywhere. It's American weapons. You know where it's made in the USA really counts? International war. Made in the USA really made its mark there. Take a break there. I'm just going to check out some of the comments here. Where are we at? We're at 10:07. Hey, we made it that far. That's fantastic today. You have anything you want to say?
Hey, John?
Yeah.
Yes. We had a request, and I'd like to honor this request because they're viewers. Polly Pastafone. I'm gonna screw this up. I'm sorry, Polly. I'm gonna try here again. Polly Pastafazul. John, is it possible to wish my wife good luck tomorrow? She has a big operation. They watch us all the time. We wish you the best. We'll have you in our thoughts.
Yeah. So, yes. So is Polly the person asking? And what's the wife's name?
Yeah, Polly is the person asking.
Wow.
Did not give the name.
Well,
his wife's
Polly,
name.
we have your wife in our thoughts. That's scary stuff. Any surgery is scary. Anything going on in a hospital these days is scary. So we have her in our thoughts. Hope everything comes out well. And it's a really good point to mention this. I am overwhelmed by the fact that we have an audience. So thank you for being here, Polly, you and your wife. From all over the world, there are people that watch this, which is why I take great care to try to check ourselves, to make sure we're still doing the job we're supposed to be doing. We're all passionate here. We all feel the burn. We all understand what's going on. And we all need to take care of each other. If there's anything we can do, let us know. We're gonna talk. Celeste, the next piece is gonna be the Indian Point nuclear facility. I want to talk about that. Can you go into that? Can you open into that in a bit? We've got a nuclear radiation leak, folks. One of many, because nuclear power is really dumb. But I want to talk about Polly. I want to talk about the audience and what I get to see. And one of the reasons why, the reason I want to tell you about this is because this it's not an excuse, but I just want you to understand where a lot of my rage really comes from and why I have a hard time keeping it down so that we can just discuss things rationally. Since I started this group, or made the call to action, I don't even know how many of you have seen the original video, but I basically said, if anybody shows up and wants to do this, I have the equipment and we can all learn to do this together and we can be a network and we can broadcast. And I never expected how many people showed up. several hundred people so far have been in and out of the Slack group. It's become something much bigger than I ever imagined because of the people. But it kind of came at a cost. And I say a cost, I don't mean that in a negative way. It just came at a cost. A price that I pay. And that is that every person that comes into this group, I try to talk to. I talk to them whether we talk in a hangout, we talk on the phone, we talk in chat. There's so many people now that have come in so quickly, I haven't had a chance to talk to many of you. But every one of you has a story. And every one of you shares with me your story. And even the most recent stories, and I apologize to those of you who have told me your story of late, and I may have seemed dismissive or maybe just cold. But at some point, I take it all, and I want to fix it all. That's what I'm a fixer. This was my desperate attempt to fix one-way broadcast. It was to fix the lack of communication on video, because it was just YouTube is a mess of shitty communication. It's that we need a better way to talk to each other. But I take your stories in every time a new person comes in, and each one of them hits me like I can't help you. And when people started coming in at first, I was just giving people money. Here's some money. Here's some money. I had a lot of money back then. I probably should have done that. Like, here's some money. Here's a Chromebook. Here's a this. Here's a camera. Let's buy you these things. I don't know what else I can do for you, but you're here to help me. Let's take care of these things. My God. You know, you're in the hospital. You got to go to the hospital. You don't have insurance. You're sick with this, but you're all here. You're all here doing this. And then when I started the newsroom, because I knew that things were shifting, that the campaign was shifting, and we were going to lose people, and I was going to be down to a very small core group of people. I was going to lose my Janine, and I mean that in she has been here from the beginning, and she knows everything. And Sluts has been here a long time, but when I started the newsroom, I said, yeah, you got to figure out how to keep your shit, John. You got to figure out how not to lose it, because you're going to read these stories every day. You're going to read stories about the 99, not just the ones that come into Bernie 2016 TV. You're going to be reading stories about mass groups of the 99 that are being oppressed and persecuted and tortured and poisoned. Vast spaces of ecology that are being destroyed. You're going to get all of the poison, the dirt, the shit, the truth. You asked for it. You said you wanted to broadcast it. Now you're going to collect it all in really fast. And then you're going to try to talk about it. And you're going to try to separate your rage and your anger and your frustration and your passion and your desire to fix everything. And you're going to try to push that aside so that you can have a rational conversation about it all with some other human being. I can't do that. I've been unable to do that because there's too much. There's too much. And that's why we're here right now. And that's why you're here right now. I love you all too. And that's why we're here for Bernie. This isn't about me. This isn't about Bernie 2016 TV. I just wanted to share with you my perspective, what I see. And it's beautiful. It's sad, tragic, what's going on. But the fact that we're all here right now with our sickness, with our lack of resources, with our depression, and whatever else we have going on, we're here. And that's what counts. And that's what Hillary doesn't have. And that's what makes Bernie work. That's why Feel the Burn is what it is. So, thank you for being here. I don't have anything else for today. We will see you later on. We want to do your story, Celeste. Why don't you tell us a story about radiation in Indian Point?
Yeah, that's just not a good spot to end on.
Is that a good segue?
No, that's not a good segue, John.
Why don't we share this story later on for another day?
you know, basically what you just did is that beautiful, beautiful, you know, heartfelt expression of yourself. Yeah, I don't want to sweep it away by this radiation situation, but here's what I'm going to do. In all seriousness, you know, because I'm one of those people. I came in here, I don't know, mid-July, end of July, something like that, and you know, frustrated because my own personal situation being what it is. I'm like a lot of you. I have health problems. I have, you know, y'all know that I suffer from anxiety attacks, and so my speech gets stuttered like it is now when I try to speak, and I'm open and I'm honest about it. I have other things that are going on in my life as well. When John was talking about that opportunity he put out there, not going to say foolishly, I jumped on it because it was an opportunity to have a voice, shaky, stunted, stilted, but to try to get information out there that people aren't getting, because we are being underserved in many, many respects. We are not an informed electorate, and we really, really have to be, especially in this day, in this age, with everything that's going on. The communication aspect of what John has been trying to develop, I find fascinating, and I love it. I enjoy being a comment moderator. You know, you can ask these guys. I'm not all that thrilled with coming on air because I actually like being in chat with y'all, because I get your perspectives from your different portions of the country and the world. The exposure to our foreign friends who are in Slack and what their perspective is on the United States. Without John and Bernie TV and Janine's efforts from the start, I wouldn't have had that experience. I wouldn't have had that exposure. I wouldn't know, well, I probably would have an idea, but I wouldn't know directly from people who are living in other countries what they see and what their views are of the United States from a different country and different citizens' perspective.
Well, she might.
The links on the New York alerts, I'm going to drop it into chat, and I really want y'all to check it out. It really is about information sharing, the communication we have with each other, and the information we share with each other, trying to make each other aware of what is happening in our surroundings, in our communities, in our states, in our politics, but also in our lives. I'm doing this because I don't know at what moment I'm literally going to have a utility shut off that's going to stop me from being able to participate with you in this way. So for me, I feel that wasted time. I'm rushing against homelessness. So, you know, if I tell you that your government isn't working for you, I'm talking from 4 years of experience that my city of Dallas government hasn't worked for me. So, I'm grateful that y'all are here. I'm grateful that you give me the opportunity to voice my opinion and try to impart knowledge and information to you. And I am forever grateful to John and Janine and all of the previous volunteers that came before me and those that are here now and, you know, want to continue this movement, because this is a movement. It's not just about Bernie anymore, though he is our current leader. We have to continue to communicate with each other, work with each other, and keep this movement going strong and build it. We have got to unite as a community of people. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Celeste. Thanks for adding that. That's better than talking about radiation right now.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Appreciate you being here. I'm seeing a couple things in a lot of things in comments, a lot of hearts and love. Thank you all very much. If anything else, if anything, the openness that we share here, this openness needs to be broadcast and shown to everybody to recognize that it's okay. It's okay to be open like this. It's okay to not have any money. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be in whatever state you're in. That's what's wrong. That's what we're fixing. The comments I'm seeing, they're going to make me cry, guys. I got to go. I'm going to cry. so many things in there. Somebody asking about where to submit videos. I don't even remember the link anymore. I'm a little fry-brained. We used to have all this stuff worked out, the media form for submissions and all that stuff. But now that I'm manning Twitter like constantly, and we've got all these people kind of feeding stuff, I know we have a media form link, but that's not where I'm grabbing stuff. That's more for video editors that can take content and rework it. For me, because we're in this kind of triage mode, I think what I'd like to do, guys, is let's hashtag everything that you need to broadcast for any reason. The newsroom, or at any time during a rally, or just, look, you got to see this stuff. Hashtag it with TRNR. Hashtag The Real Newsroom, TRNR. And that way I'll look for it on Twitter. I'll pull it in as an RSS feed, and I can really find all the articles faster. And let's try that.
Hey,
let's
John?
try that for me. Yeah.
Hey, John, I can't remember which one of our regulars suggested it, but they suggested not using the TRNR because it's too close to the Real News Network for one thing, and it's also too close to CNN. Can be confused.
Okay, well,
that was just a suggestion.
I appreciate that. I plugged it in the other day. There was nothing that came up for that. It's short and sweet, and let's just try it. We can. The thing about hashtags, guys, is we can overwhelm them and make them whatever we want, like we do with Hillary's attempts at hashtags. So, TRNR, 4 characters. Let's try that for now. I'm going to be looking for that, and if I see that it's overwhelmingly flooded with other bullshit, then we'll just can that and try something different. So, there is no stream today yet. I don't have another. What stream are you looking for? Kevon, what are we looking for?
Manchester. Manchester is going to be starting at 1 p.m. and because I've been doing this, I haven't had a chance to start hunting around to see if there's going to be a feed coming out.
Biff is supposed to be going up to Duluth.
Duluth?
Yeah.
I thought he was going.
Dunham. Biff is going to do the concert this evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yes, that's what Biff is doing. The last thing I knew. Is that where that is, Janine? Never mind. So Biff's doing a concert later. The big one tonight. We will be broadcasting that. If there's something before that, and Celeste and I and you guys and all of us can find a feed that I can use, so that'd be something from local stations. That would be another Biff or a Scott broadcasting to Ustream or their own private YouTube channel. I cannot use a mainstream media feed, so even if it's like WMUR, but they're using the national feed, and it'll tell you, say national. I can't use it because we'll get dinged. But local feed we can use just fine. Anything that you find, Periscope, of course. And if you're there, you want to help us out. But yeah, I'm more than happy to do the Manchester. We're kind of going into New Hampshire freak-out primary mode. So I'll broadcast as much as we can today. The concert tonight, obviously, thanks to Biff. And then as much as we can tomorrow. There we go.
I'm going to interrupt real quick. So I'm going to ask our audience if you want to help us find a stream. Here's the 2 shows that are coming up that John's talking about as soon as my document will switch over. Because, it doesn't like to do that when you need it to. Okay, Bernie is going to be appearing in Manchester at the Get Out the Vote rally at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's the first feed that we're looking for, is going to be the Manchester Get Out the Vote rally, and that's a 1 p.m. start time.
Right.
The second one we're going to look for is this afternoon. It's the Derry, New Hampshire Get Out the Vote rally, and that is going to be at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, because of the snow situation in New Hampshire, these programs may be running a little bit late as far as, Bernie's being able to get there. He was a little late this morning. So that's really what we're looking for, is feeds for those 2 shows. And if you get them, you can use that hashtag, and you can also Twitter us, and we'll keep an eye out for those feeds, and we're also going to look ourselves.
There you go. Thank you so much, Celeste.
Thanks for joining us all.
Yeah, thanks for being here today. I'm looking at all your comments, everybody. You're pushing all that information in. Yes. And we did capture the earlier one today, guys. So the one from earlier this morning, which was really good, is up there now. It's in the past or recent activities on our channel. Bernie2016.tv. That domain will always go to our live channel homepage, which is where you can always subscribe, please. The subscription is the only way we're going to gain any power with anything on here. The more you subscribe, the better. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Hopefully, I guess in a half hour-ish. Come on, 1 p.m., half hour. And thanks for feeling the burn with us, everybody. We're going to go out with another old one here. Patrick Crawford. This is the Feel the Burn Bernie Sanders punk song. This is an old favorite of ours. I'm always looking for new music. New Bernie Sanders music that does not have asshole copyright stuff on it, folks. Feel the burn, everybody. We're winning. Just keep that in mind. We're winning.
Don't want your phony crap politician. The flaky loonies hell-bent on demolition. We need the man who answers you with a question. Blowing the whistle on the psychotic corporate. Feel the pain! Feel the pain! Feel the pain! Feel the pain! Sona Sanders, Sona Sanders. Colonel Sanders is a guy for me. He rocks the hair of a real bourgeoisie. Don't you want someone from the middle class? You know that Brooklyn accent sounds kind of bad. That's the pain. The pain. The pain. The pain. The pain. These lies make me feel calm and tell a strange Trump seagull practically busting at the seams. Another push sounds like another tricky scheme. All the others, we don't need a man. I'm not as anyone you can. To the bay! To the bay! To the bay!
You